Hello friends, so today we will discuss the development of occlusion part 2. Initially we have covered the primary dentition. Today we will discuss mainly about the mixed dentition. Mixed dentition is the dentition where both primary and the permanent teeth are present. It occurs in 6 to 12 years of age. It is further divided into first transitional period, second transitional period and third transitional period. First transitional period is the period where there is emergence of permanent first molar and exchange of primary incisors with the permanent incisors. It mainly occurs around 6.5 to 8.5 years of age. So first permanent molar, when they erupt, they usually, if they erupt in flush terminal plane, they basically try to come into the class 1 molar relationship by using the primate and the leeway space. So when the first permanent molar erupt, they try to push the primary second molar and utilize the primate space, which is known as early mesial shift. And when there is no primate space, in those cases the first permanent molar will try to push the primary second molar by utilizing the leeway space, which is present 1.8 mm in maxillary arch and 3.4 mm in mandibular arch. This occurs in case of late mesial shift. Now coming to the incisor liability, as we know that primary tooth are smaller in size and permanent incisor are larger in size. Incisor liability is the difference between the space available and the space required is called incisor liability. The arch, it is 7 mm and in case of mandibular arch, it is 5 mm. So incisor liability plays an important role. The permanent tooth, which are larger in size, they try to accommodate in that space by using three methods. First, utilization of interdental space like primate, physiological and leeway space of Nance. Second, because of increase in intercanine width and length, which occurs at 9 to 11 years of age and during eruption of canine. And third is increase in interdental angulation. So primary tooth, they are having 150-degree angle between the upper central incisor and the lower central incisor. But in case of permanent teeth, they are more proclined, so they are having 123 degree of angle between the upper and the lower incisor. As you can see in this figure, the difference in angulation of primary and the permanent teeth. By this way, the permanent tooth try to accommodate in that space. As you can see in this figure. Now coming to the second transitional period, in which there are only few changes occur and it is stable and it occurs for 1.5 years. Now coming to the third transitional period, where the major changes occur, it occurs in 9 to 11 years of age. So the third or the last transitional stage of mixed dentition occurs around 9 to 11 year of age, and in third transitional stage there is emergence of canine, premolars and permanent second molar, and there is establishment of occlusion. So it occurs basically by utilizing the leeway space of Nance. So what is leeway space of Nance? We know that deciduous or the primary first and the second molars, they are larger in size as compared to the permanent successors or premolars. So the difference between the size of D and E is always larger than the 4 and the 5. This difference is called leeway space of Nance. Now coming to the another space known as E space. E space is the space E space is the difference in size of primary second molar and the second premolar. As we know that the mesodistal dimension of the primary second molar E is greater than the mesodistal dimension of the second premolar, this space is known as E space. Now coming to the last stage, that is ugly duckling stage, which occurs in 8 to 11 year of age and given by Broadbent in 1937.
And also known as Broadbent phenomenon.
When the permanent canine erupts, it creates pressure on the root of the little incisor, which subsequently create pressure on the root of the permanent incisor or central incisor, which cause the distal movement of the crown and the mesial movement of the root, leads to the flaring of the central incisor, which is very anesthetic in appearance and called as ugly duckling stage. It is a self-correcting anomaly because as the canine erupts into the oral cavity, it puts pressure on the crown and thus it becomes normal. So this basically occurs in 8 to 11 years of age and resolve itself.